One of the longest economic expansions in US history just occurred. Although the economy has grown steadily for more than a decade, many experts are now forecasting a slowdown soon. Well, experts believe that we are headed towards an economic recession, and everyone should be prepared for that. So what are some smart ways to prepare now for a long recession? The stock market is going down, prices are increasing, and inflation is also on the rise. Companies and individuals alike are worried that this will have a long-term impact on the economy. Here it is important to note that the US stock market isn't the only one in this problem. Reports suggest that stock markets in France and Germany have also experienced declines during the last few days. Furthermore, a report published by BBC on May 20th of this year suggests that Tesco, the biggest retailer in the UK, fell 1.8%. In the US, Nasdaq fell 4.7%. Hello guys, welcome back to Money Invests, where we discuss everything about money, investment, and personal finance. In this video, I'm going to tell you how you can prepare yourself for a long recession. If you want to be fully prepared for a possible upcoming economic recession, watch this video until the end. And to smash the like button, as always, I appreciate your support. Number 1. Reassess your budget. In good times and bad, it's a good idea to keep a close eye on your expenditures. Be sure every dollar is accounted for and has a purpose. Using a zero-based budget, which encourages conscious spending, you can achieve this goal. Every dollar you earn goes towards a certain expenditure when you properly budget your spending. Housing, food, loan payments, and utility bills are just a few examples of what you could expect to spend money on. What happens if you make more money than you spend? Additional savings categories may be created by your emergency fund, retirement savings, vacation fund, and so on. Spending money on unnecessary things will be less probable as a consequence, and this will help you achieve your financial objectives. The balance via email that now has a chance to take steps on your fiscal plan. Don't wait until a recession is in process. You may free up money to construct a rainy day fund by being proactive. According to experts, you may achieve this goal by delaying significant purchases, reducing wasteful spending, and prioritizing necessities over desires. It's a good idea to have 3 to 6 months spending in cash as an emergency savings rule of thumb. In the event of a prolonged economic downturn, you may want to consider increasing your emergency fund if you don't want to be even more cautious. Start with what you can afford. But if that's not an option, simply start small and build from there. Number 2. Reconsider your real estate. If you are a tenant, you should start cutting your spending immediately so that you will have cash saved to cover the rent if there is a disruption in your earnings. Look into alternative methods to save cost, such as acquiring a roommate or another roommate if you already have one, and think about obtaining a roommate. If you own a property or wish to own a home, your game plan will differ depending on whether you want to purchase, sell, or remain in the same location. If you want to buy a house this year or next, you should have reasonable expectations about what you can afford, and you should also make sure that you have a financial backup that will protect you in the months after you complete the purchase. That involves being realistic about what you can spend and building up a substantial emergency fund. Use the house budget calculator on available websites and select a price in the affordable range. Do not choose a price in the stretched or aggressive categories. This will help you avoid purchasing more property than you can afford. When you purchase a property, the lender will likely investigate your financial situation to ensure that you will still have some money in savings even after the transaction on the home is finalized. The lender may need you to possess up to 6 months' amount of house payments saved in savings if you intend to use the single-family home that you are purchasing as your main residence. Put aside more money than the legally needed minimum in reserves so that you will be able to cover unexpected expenses like car repairs or a loss in income. Guys, many of you are watching this video and not subscribing, so please subscribe and drop a like because that would help support the channel. With that out of the way, let's go to the number 3. Focus your investments for the long term. Should you alter your investment plan to protect yourself from possible financial losses caused by a recession? The simple truth is, no. And the reason for this is because provided you have a strong investing plan that is focused on the long run. It may be a difficult and sometimes hazardous endeavor to try to time the market by picking assets that are resistant to recession. You could do better with a long-term approach that is flexible enough to adapt to any kind of environment, including economic downturns. When you choose the strategy, there is no need to take any preventive measures against recessions, since your plan already takes into account the reality that recessions, along with other occurrences, will unavoidably occur at regular intervals. Recessions really could work to your advantage if you are in the accumulation phase of your life. Though the use of dollar cost averaging regular payments to a 401k or any other type of retirement plan may purchase additional shares of stock each month, even if stock prices decline. Nevertheless, recessions may create hardship for a lot of people, so cheering for one shouldn't be something you do. If you are approaching close to retirement, the circumstances can be different for you. If this is the case, it may be important to reconsider the degree of risk you are willing to take, given that suffering big losses right at the start of your retirement years might be difficult. If you've been dragging your feet on the process of decreasing risk, it may make sense to move some of your money from equities into assets with lower risk, such as bonds, if you anticipate a difficult road ahead for the economy. Number 4. Boost your emergency savings. In the event of an unexpected expense, financial experts advise setting aside 6 to 9 months' worth of salary. Maintain this sum in a readily available location, such as a high-yield savings or stocks and shares account, so that you may make a fast withdrawal from it if necessary. Check out the various rates offered by different accounts, since high interest rates can help you get the most out of your money. Even during an economic downturn, having 6 to 9 months' worth of living expenses saved up is sufficient. Experts say that having an emergency fund will allow you to pay your payments and day-to-day needs without having to use credit cards or causing damage to your credit report. If you don't already have funds set aside for unexpected expenses, you should start putting away as much money as you can without sacrificing your retirement plans. If you lose your work, having money saved in an emergency account may help you stay afloat financially. It can also be used to cover unexpected costs, such as when your vehicle needs repairs. Number 5. Stay calm and invest on. Even when the stock market is dropping, it's not easy to follow this advice. When things go wrong in the stock market, there is a positive side. More stocks and fund shares are currently purchased with monthly contributions from your investment than when the market reached record highs. During market declines, it's normal to desire to sell. People are more sensitive to the loss of $1 than the gain of $1, according to research. Because of this urge, people are more likely to sell equities than to retain them, even when a buy and hold approach would have been more sensible. Locking in losses by selling at a lower price locks in your losses. When it comes to timing the market, even the most experienced investors have a hard time when it comes to long-term investments. Patience and dollar cost average pay well. Locking in losses by selling at a lower price locks in your losses. It's worth noting that the S&P 500 has risen 5 years and 5 months after the Great Recession's bottom was reached. After then, it went on an upward trend for another 6 or 7 years. If you're planning to invest for the long term and have a diversified portfolio, don't worry about your portfolio's worth every day. Take a step back and focus on your long-term objectives, keeping in mind that the markets have historically recovered from downturns and beyond. There is everything you can do for yourself. However, you should still begin saving for your golden years as soon as possible. What you shouldn't do during a recession. In the event of a recession, if you have a well-established emergency fund and an all-weather investing portfolio, you may not need to make any major adjustments. You can concentrate on more essential things in life and help your loved ones if you have your money in order before a crisis occurs. While it may be easier said than done, if you're already struggling to make ends meet, don't put yourself under too much pressure. I'm sure many of you have other tactics to prepare for a long recession. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below, and I will see you at the golden mountain of financial freedom.